When I was a kid, whenever I had a nightmare, I'd go into my parents' room, and my dad would wake up, reach out his hand, and touch the lamp by his bedside, and it would turn on. Instead of having to twist a little knob or press a crude button, the lamp could turn on and off with just a touch. And today, we're going to recreate that effect in a way that works for any lamp, with two caveats. First, it has to have a metal body or another conductive material. And second, it has to have a physical on-off switch. So if the power were to go out and then come back on, the lamp would turn back on. So we need to know if someone is actually touching the lamp, and to do that, we're going to use the same technology that's used in your phone's screen. But first, we need to understand capacitance. This is a capacitor, and what it does is store electrical energy. Basically, we have two metal plates, one on each side, each of which is connected to one of these leads down here, and separating them is a piece of material that doesn't conduct electricity. But that slice is very, very thin, so we can actually force electricity through if we connect one of the sides to power and the other side to ground. Now, because of the difficulty of forcing electricity through the capacitor, it actually takes a second to charge up the capacitor, and while we fill it with electricity, none of it is coming out. But once it's full, it basically just acts like a wire. But that's not the cool part. The cool part is that after we stop supplying electricity, the electricity stored in the capacitor keeps on flowing until it runs out. But why am I telling you all of this if our goal is to make a magic lamp that when you rub it, a genie pops out? Sorry, wrong video, but I promise I'll get back to the lamp soon. The thing is, bigger and bigger capacitors take longer and longer to charge up, and also supply electricity for longer and longer after they stop being supplied electricity. So we could actually use an Arduino to create a program that would detect sort of how big a capacitor is by sending a pulse of electricity into it and seeing how much time it takes for that pulse to come out the other side. For a small capacitor, the pulse starts, the capacitor gets charged, and then the pulse starts coming out the other side pretty quickly. Then the pulse stops and the capacitor starts discharging, and the output pulse is done a moment later. So the output pulse was very slightly delayed. But the larger the capacitor, the longer it takes to charge and the longer it can discharge. So the farther apart those two pulses are. Now keep that in mind, but imagine we take an Arduino and we run this program on a resistor. The pulse would travel through the resistor very quickly, so we'd get barely any offset. Now imagine we have the resistor connected just as it is, but also a wire from it to a large metal object, like a lamp. The pulse will travel partly through the resistor and partly through the lamp. But either way, the pulse is still not very delayed. But imagine we make a capacitor, using the lamp as one side, our hand as the other, and the air in between as the non-conductive middle barrier. Now we've built a capacitor, and even though it's not a very good one, if we use a very, very high value resistor to make it hard for electricity to pass through, our Arduino will be able to detect even the smallest changes in capacitance, the changes that our hand is introducing. In other words, the Arduino will be able to detect how close or far our hand is from the lamp. And if we tune it just right, the Arduino will be able to detect when our hand touches the lamp. That's the theory anyway, so let's actually make it. But before we do, a quick word from our sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is an awesome company that makes basically everything you need for your next DIY project. They can manufacture and even assemble your custom PCB designs, they can make awesome 3D prints based on your models, and they can even CNC things out of different types of metal when you're ready for your final design. All of this amazing stuff and a $5 coupon for newcomers is available at PCBWay.com, so I definitely recommend you check that out from the first link in the description. So how do we test this capacitive stuff in the real world? Well, handily enough, someone's already created a library for Arduino called CapacitiveSensor.h, and this provides everything we need to detect the capacitance between two of our Arduino pins. So we'll have a pulse pin, in this case I'm using D3, and a sense pin, and we'll emit pulses on pin 3 and read them on pin 6, and based on the delay, we'll know how much capacitance there is, which will allow us to detect how close someone's hand or a piece of metal is. And the setup for this is actually super simple. we'll just create a capacitive sensor object and pass in the 2 pins we want to use. We'll turn off auto calibrate because we'll do everything ourselves. And then in the loop function, we can create a variable and set it to capSensor.capacitive sensor. So basically just reading the difference between those 2 values. And I've set a sensitivity of 30, which seems to be working just fine. Now you can see when I put a 10 mega ohm resistor across those 2 ports, anytime I touch it, we're getting values close to 1000. And when I'm not touching it, we're getting values sub 100. So we can create a boolean called isTouched to determine if we're touching the sensor or not. And we'll set it to total 1 is greater than 500. So anytime we're above 500 is when we're touching the resistor, and anytime we're below 500, we're considered not touching the resistor. And if we use that value to toggle the built-in LED, you can see anytime we touch the resistor, it turns on or off that LED. Now, all we have to do is switch to controlling one of the Arduino board's ports instead of that LED. In this case, I'm using port 7, and we should be able to control whatever we want. However, this lamp runs off of 120 volts, which is way more than the Arduino could ever possibly handle. But there's a solution called a relay. This is a relay that can handle up to 250 volts, and it can handle AC current as well, which the Arduino can't. Basically, it's a switch, but in order to flip the switch, we activate or deactivate an electromagnet, and this electromagnet can be controlled with just 5 volts, which the Arduino can easily provide. So if we buy ourselves an outlet adapter with some handy switches, then we can actually replace one of these switches with the relay. So now the Arduino is in control of whether this outlet is on or off. And if we power the Arduino from one of these little USB ports and connect a wire to our resistor and then solder it to a piece of aluminum foil and tape that to our lamp to get some good electrical connection, we can actually reassemble our outlet adapter, and it looks pretty reasonable with just 1 wire sticking out to go to the lamp. And since the Arduino is already programmed, if we plug the adapter into the wall and the lamp into the adapter, then all we have to do is touch the lamp. That's sick. And we can simply keep touching the lamp to turn it on or off. And since the entire body of the lamp is metal, we can touch anywhere on the lamp we want and light it up. And if you guys are looking for another awesome project involving bright lights, I highly recommend this lightsaber project. It'll cost you about $60 to make an awesome lightsaber that looks like this, and I put together the tutorial for absolute beginners, so no matter your skill level, you can make this lightsaber. Check it out.